Imagine waking up every morning to the man you loved, smiling at another woman in your own home. Eziamaraa had counted the days since Christopher returned with Sahdey. 7 months. 210 days of waking up to the same nightmare, the gentle footsteps in the hallway, the laughter of her children, and then the soft murmur of voices from the guest room that had once been hers. It wasn't just the presence of Sahdey. It was the way Christopher looked at her, still tender, still affectionate, still present, but never fully his own. The way he kissed the children goodnight with warmth in his eyes, yet returned to Sahdey for the night. The way he moved through their home with the weight of love, loyalty, and betrayal all at once. At first, Eziamaraa had tried to hold on to normalcy. She dressed carefully, smiled politely, and carried on as though everything was fine. She cooked dinner, packed lunches, helped with homework, and even laughed at Christopher's soft jokes. For the children, she forced herself to maintain the illusion that nothing had changed. But inside, she was unraveling. Her sleep disappeared. Nights were long and suffocating, punctuated by the distant murmur of their voices, the soft creak of the guest room door, the faint giggle that made her stomach twist. By the 3rd month, headaches had become constant. By the 4th, her appetite vanished. She would sit at the table, food untouched, watching Christopher and Sahdey move through their home with casual intimacy that left her numb and shaking. Friends began noticing. Texts came, "Are you okay? You look so tired, please, call me." Eziamaraa smiled politely, nodded when they asked in person, but no one could see the storm inside her. She had become someone she didn't recognize, quiet, tense, sharp, bitter. The warmth she once carried for the world had been replaced by a simmering rage that she hid behind a careful facade. One night, after yet another dinner where Christopher had laughed softly with Sahdey over something she didn't understand, Eziamaraa excused herself and sat alone in the master bedroom. Her hands shook as she held her head, the room spinning around her. Her blood pressure spiked, her heart raced. She hadn't realized how deep the poison of this living arrangement had sunk into her body. Tears streamed freely. How can he do this?" she whispered to herself. "How can he love us and her at the same time?" Jewel and Star slept soundly, blissfully unaware, but Eziamaraa's chest felt hollow, her soul heavy with despair. The life she had built, the marriage she had nurtured, the family she had protected, it all felt stolen, replaced, rearranged without her consent. It was during one of these long nights that her best friend, Ada, showed up at her door. Ada had been persistent, concerned, sensing the slow erosion of her spirit.
"Eziamaraa, I've been calling. I've been texting. Please, you can't do this to yourself anymore,"
she said, her voice trembling with worry. Eziamaraa tried to smile. I have to stay. For the kids."
"I know,"
Ada said softly.
"But at what cost? Your health, your mind, even your soul? You are disappearing, Eziamaraa. You are vanishing into the shadow of a woman who took your place, and your husband, he is letting this happen."
Her friend's words were harsh, but they cut through the fog of her resignation. For the first time, Eziamaraa looked at herself in the mirror and barely recognized the reflection. Pale, hollow-eyed, tense lines etched on her face, lips pressed tight to hold back the anger and sorrow, this was not her. This was a stranger living in her skin, enduring a life she had not chosen. It became clear, she could not survive like this. Not like this. She could not continue to silently watch Christopher and Sahdey navigate a world she had built for her family while her own life crumbled. Ada reached out, holding her hands firmly.
"You have a choice, Eziamaraa. You don't have to stay trapped in this cage of silence and sacrifice. You are allowed to fight for yourself, even if it hurts."
For the first time in months, Eziamaraa let herself breathe. She allowed the anger, the pain, the betrayal to flow fully, untamed. She felt it mix with clarity, the understanding that staying under the same roof, while safe for the children, was destroying her completely. That night, lying awake after Ada left, Eziamaraa made a silent vow. She would endure no longer. She would protect her children, yes, but she would reclaim herself. She would take the next step, however painful, however complicated. She would rise again. Because surviving 7 months of living with the woman who had replaced her had taught her one thing: love could be betrayed, but self-respect could not.
Morning light on the kitchen floor. I built this house from love and more. Framed your fears, hung up your past. Thought we were built to really last. I wore devotion like a crown. Held you up, I held you down. Skipped my needs to fit your plans. Signed my soul with trust.